Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for day 14 of Inktober Tangles. I'm Martha, your certified Zentangle teacher, and today we'll be working with the Skogi tangle. We'll begin with an easy version of the Skogi tangle, and then I'll show you how to build on it for a more complex variation. To begin the basic version, I'm using a bijou tile with the Pigma Micron 01 pen in black. I've drawn a curved line up and then back down to create this little stalk, if you will. I'm now going to draw a curve on the left and a curve on the right, and imagining that it's maybe a circle, but we can't see the whole thing because of the stem. I'm now coloring in kind of the bottom corners or rounding them out with a little curve there, and then filling in with solid black ink. And now starting at the top point, I'm going to aura here on the left side and then again on the right side. This definitely has similar vibes to that mythograph tangle we did yesterday. And now I'm going to come in and add another few ladybugs, little curved lines on the left and right side, and then curving out those ends, those corners, kind of rounding out that space. And then going back to the top and auraing on the left, and then auraing on the right. For time's sake, I've sped up this next section, but I have repeated the same steps. I've drawn a little orb on the left and on the right, and then smoothed out those corners, and then auraed the left and right sides. Please feel free to pause the video and take your time doing those steps. I'm now coming in with graphite pencil and adding some shading. So shading that outside aura on the left and right side. I also shaded down at the base of the entire tangle. And now I'm going to just blend it in using the tortillon to really kind of soften it up. And the final step is just filling out the information on the back. I always like to do this because it is hard to remember all these different tangles. So this is day 14 in the Skogi tangle. So moving on to a little bit more complex version of this tangle, I'm using a Renaissance tile and I've added 4 corner dots to it, and then I'm connected them with a line to create a border. I've switched over to a Pigma Micron 01 pen in black to draw the first step, which is like this little stalk. So starting at the border, drawing up across the tile, and then coming back down. And now drawing a curve on the left side and on the right side of that stalk. I've switched over to a brown Pigma Micron pen in 01, and I'm going to use it for these little corners here. So just rounding out this little space and filling it in with brown ink. Switching back to my black pen, I'm going to aura the left side and then the right side. And then I'm going to repeat the same steps 2 more times. So adding the curved line on the left and on the right, smoothing out the corners with the brown ink, and then adding an aura. Please feel free to press pause and join me when you are done, and just enjoy this time. So as I began to draw this tangle and learn it, I definitely had fall leaf vibes. And so as I was planning out this tangle, I decided to kind of take this and push that a little bit further. So what I've envisioned here is uh, several of these tangles repeated in various places, almost like fallen leaves on the ground. So I am starting another one of these Skogi tangles, but you're only going to see part of it. So I've drawn the bottom of the stem first out to the border, and then those two large orbs, and we won't see any more of the other orbs. So usually there are like 6, I should say, like seed or pod like shapes. We won't see all of those for this, so maybe we just see part of them, like here. And so you're just drawing uh, what you can see. Um, just thinking about composition, not having all the leaves perfectly in a row or side by side, or um, in any sort of formal fashion. I wanted to really explore the opposite of that and how they might look if they were just organically scattered on the ground, just from falling naturally. So we see one in the middle, but then maybe we only see a few others in this space within this border. And for this next Skogi, I've turned my tile and I'm drawing the very tippy top of it. So maybe we just see the stem on this one. The rest is cut out of view in our image. Or maybe we see just the top of one of those little seed or pod-like shapes. So it's up to you how much of this Skogi tangle you put inside of the space versus what you cut off. But I am just, each time I add one of these Skogi tangles, I'm showing a different part and I'm drawing it in a different angle. I really want to show variation. I've turned my tile again and I'm adding a 4th Skogi tangle in here. Maybe even just a smaller amount of the tippy top. So none of the little seed pods on that one. For time's sake, I've sped up the next few sections of the video just to get through these Skogi tangles. So please feel free to pause the video and join me when you are done. For this background area, I'm going to use a white jelly roll pen, a size 8, and I'm going to be doing a tangle called Crazy in Zeppel. So step 1 is just to divide that space with a variety of straight lines, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, crisscrossing each other in various places. It's called Crazy in Zeppel because there is no kind of specific way to draw these lines. They're all over the place. So filling it up, crisscrossing the lines so that you have quite a bit of smaller spaces. The next step of this tangle is to aura the inside of the shapes. Imagine trying to squish something soft into a very angular geometric space. That's what we're going here. And when I reference back to this kind of falling or fallen leaf scene I had in my head, I think about these as like pavers or little pebbles or stones on a walkway, and the leaves have fallen on it. So again, just drawing an aura inside of each of these spaces, and then at the corners, I'm rounding those out so the inside shape is more organic. Take your time, enjoy this, press pause in the video, and meet me when you are done. This is one of my favorite tangles. I really enjoy kind of the second step of kind of curving out those inner spaces. It is so dynamic how it changes the drawing from just a bunch of crisscross lines into something more complex. And now for some shading, I'm going to add some graphite down at the base of this tangle, and then on the left and right side of that first kind of stem or stalk, that middle section of lines, and then also adding some graphite on the outside edge. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other 4 Skogi tangles. Well, add graphite where I can, just depending on what is seen inside of this space. All right, so I have added graphite and then blended it in with the tortillon, and now I'm getting white charcoal pencil and adding a little bit of charcoal to the Inktober tangle. And this, to me, kind of brings out their roundness, so they look more three-dimensional, and definitely are starting to feel more like a little pebbled path, something underneath these leaves, at least for me. I'm sure you all will have some other thoughts and ideas of what this Skogi tangle reminds you of. But just adding a little bit of white charcoal around the edge, no particular edge, just randomly in each one, and then I will blend this out. Just thought it needed a little something more. So getting out the graphite pencil and just going along the outside edge of this border to add a little bit of gray. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and sign my chop down here, just on the outside of that border, and fill out the information on the back. And last but not least, enjoy this beautiful drawing. I want to thank you again for joining me for today's tangle, the Skogi tangle, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for day 15.